Hello again, and in this tutorial we are going to try and finish our overview of the foliage tools. I'm gonna run through one or two more foliage plants and show you how they work. For the rest of them, I'm pretty sure you will be able to handle design and uh, the approach that you're gonna choose and work with them. So I'm curious about this kind of plant tree. It's again long plant with the usual preferences that you have. It's seed for quick uh, iterations, and you have an overall LOD as it's written, but I'm sure I left the asset of you to have access to the LOD system for each branch and leaf separately, so don't worry about that if you don't want to use that dense topology to the overall set. And yeah, the usual preferences for height, rotation, scale. The materials is usually, you're not bound to just one material. You can use a variety of materials and combine them with the rest of the plant system. Let me quickly see how the current materials look like. Not bad. Of course, again, you have controls over the curve view, material gradient. Yeah, something like that, alongside with the leaves. So maybe here is the time to mention some common bottleneck in creating plants and plant systems. There, of course, different approaches, and when I first engaged into building such a system in Blender, I knew that probably at the time of developing the toolsets, I'm gonna encounter this common issue when you need to find a way to combine childs to parents. In this case, the root is the parent and the branches are the children. So as you can see, they penetrate inside the root. There are ways to kind of solve this. I left you with options to either um, trim the curve from the starting point, but then you risk of it to start floating separately from the branch, so this needs a lot of precision. And for example, if you manage to do that for several of them at the root, others might not follow the same rule, especially if the root is thicker at the top, so you might feel tempted, okay, I'm gonna trim this branches a little bit more, but then you're gonna cut too much from the branches on the root because here the root is thinner. And things like that, details like that, and they actually limit the process of creating plants. So I chose to leave these tools the way they are right now in a conceptual way, not imply, for example, Boolean systems, because they are going to slow a lot the process. Um, uh, and at the same time, I decided not to create a VDB system for each one of them, meaning that I'm going to convert them to either cloud system or actual VDBs and then back to mesh. The toolsets, meaning the geometry nodes, are constantly developing, and more solutions towards this are going to appear, which is great. I'm sure the people behind Blender Foundation, Blender, are going to give us such tools. So the current stage of this system is not yet fully finished, but it's about once the geometry nodes developed the stage it can be. And of course, I could have approached this by Python, and I could have built the L system myself, but that's not the idea here. I wanted to see how far the geometry nodes can go and to offer people standalone system that they can use everywhere, no matter if they are connected to the internet or if they use a bit older version of Blender. The geometry nodes, I think, provide us with great tool set to work with. It's about a little bit of time for us to have even greater response and find a solution for the combination of parent to child, like we have in other diseases that are specifically designed to give us plant systems such as P3, one of the most famous. But of course, there are many other systems. So yeah, I think now was the uh, great moment to explain why we have penetrations with the branches inside the root of those plants. And of course they're gonna appear and be that visible when you have subsurface materials such as this one here. And once we reach to the level to successfully combine meshes with each other, we are going to have much smoother iterations with the meshes and still preserve the speed we actually have when creating plants. Because most of you, even for the newcomers, gonna notice at some point that there is always a price to pay. Whatever approach, whatever task you are challenged with, the problem solvings and the solution you might find, you're gonna find out that there is always a price to pay. The question is what your goal is and what your final purpose is. Is it time? Is it quality? Is it something in between? And least but not last, what is the resource you have at your possession? So you you're gonna know how to approach. So now I'm gonna play a little bit with the preferences of this plant. So I left your choice to affect the root by X and Y, meaning whatever noises and bends I apply to the asset, they're gonna affect either on X or on Y. So we have some noise distortions. Can apply a little bit more roughness to the plant. We can bend it on X or on Y. I see we have animation for this plant as well. I'm curious, how does it work? It's not bad. As I've already mentioned, you might not have the perfect animation by default, so depending on your plant design, you're just gonna have to find what best fits for you in terms of motion. I think this one is fine, meaning as we can see, there is less animation excuse me, in the bottom at the root and more at the top. What else do we have? There is some more sampling. Alright. I can choose from different root branch root designs. This to follow the design, the major profile here. Just curious to see something. Yeah, I had to check that. I'd like to share something with you. Well, that's more of a development side of things, but users might be interested to know. Usually, you can achieve those profiles by curves and different shapes. And if I had the opportunity to promote this in the asset system somehow, I would have done that, because then as user you will have even even more options to design the curve in the curve mesh by yourself. And this is why I decided to give you at least several pre-designed shapes for the curve, so you will have more freedom to play and change the shape. But if I had the chance to promote that here, it would be great, because you have even more freedom with less amount of tweak controls to play with. And the profiles, some of you might know, they're designed to be inside the geometry nodes, and of course you can access them, but that's not the purpose of me creating tools for you to bottleneck the geometry node structure by yourself. The idea is, if you make to make it comfortable for people to work with. That's my point. And I'm gonna try to find it quickly and show you where what I mean, what exactly I mean. It's supposed to be, these are the leaves, these are the profiles. Yes, so these are, it's basically the curve ramp. These are the predefined curves I meant. So yeah, if Blender Foundation find a way to provide us people who are willing to make libraries like that and tools like that, just to embed them in the modifier tabs, that's going to be great. And I think I've spot another user to ask for such thing in the forums, so I guess Blender Foundation will be able to do that sooner or later. But for now, yeah, that's why you have uh, those menus. They actually predefine shapes, and you still can once the shape is defined, you still have those options to affect the shape yourself as well. But if some of you feel tempted to make a shape of their own for some reason, you can come here and do it. You can change it with the ramp. So what else do we have? So these didn't affect much the root, and the reason for that is just one of these profiles was supposed to work with the further noise options, and that depends on the profile and the amount of topology you have. So you are going to be able and further affect the overall shape, but you gotta play with the preferences here, so you'll be able to find if you need to use further noises and affect the shape or not. In my experience, for some of the plants, that's really not necessary. But it's one extra amount of control that is going to give your creations unique design and more control. And similar tools you have to the branch system. As you can see, it can be 3, but it can be different type of tree, where when this is checked out and the options are to gray out once you're with the other um, mode to work with, you will have option to explore even further the possibilities of your own design. You can make it look like that, or you can make it look like that. See, there are tons and tons of options. You need to experiment and play a bit. You can rotate it. But I really like it more like tree, like that. Um, and I like to change the height, but let me do that by the root. We are about to cross the 20 minutes, so yeah, I might like this one, and as before, I can duplicate it and quickly decide, okay, but I want something like that as well. And so I can play with those preferences now. They do differ, they do matter. It's up to you to discover which one you want to use. And yeah, excuse me.